So not only have we got the joyous return of Yami and Jack and Frynral invading like the capital as they're defending it from Langris and his shitty bunch of group of people, but we've also got the fact we get to see a little bit of snippet of what's going on with Mimosa's side of things, because I think her and Kirsch's side is very interesting with where their entire escalation is going, but oh boy, there's I'm glad we're finally getting to see the two sides of what's going on so far, as we've already resolved the Noel stuff. So very exciting to kind of get more into this episode with 179. So let's go and talk about that, as we cut immediately to what's going on with Mercer's side with the Vermilion Resonance, and we find out straight away that the elves are being like kind of dealt with, like Kirsch's ability to kind of block them out, which we find out that one of the Golden Dawn members, the rock dude, I cannot remember his name, but I know he's like, not that obviously the lieutenant is Langris, but it's like he was one of the higher people. I think he was supposed to be like the potential next new lieutenant, and he's kind of there. We find out that he turned into an elf, and he's like, I will always come back, you humans and your shrewd magic. Kirsch is like, basically they've been using this as an opportunity to like escape all the civilians. They're using this out there with like the same thing with like Mimosa is kind of guiding people with their same thing with the mushrooms, that they're kind of leaving this aroma that, so overall like they have been using their their powers like as, let's just take people out of here. We're not going to be fighting head on with these guys, which I thought was really nice exactly, because Mimosa is also using her like whole flower guiding post thing to like find out, okay, these are where all these elves are, and I like the fact that she was like, shut the hell up, Kirsch, like, you know, like, no blood will be spilled this day, and he's like, please, you know, dear brother, and all that, like, you need to shut your mouth or we're gonna be found out. And it's like, look, we need to be careful, because everyone here is from the Golden Dawn. We need to be careful right now, as most of the Golden Dawn members were the ones that transformed to their normal selves, and there was one guy that was like, yo, how's it going, and appears immediately behind Mimosa, which we get to know as, apparently his name is his human name is David, but his elf name is Baval, and he's like, what? How does our like magic not affect him at all? And it's like, wait, so is he like some weird like illusion thing? Is this like his ability right now, or the fact that he has a very just interesting ability that clearly not negating magic, but he has some way to like kind of pass through it, whether or not he has a force field or just something that works around him. And then he's like, everyone's like kind of scared about him with Baval, and he's like, no, don't worry about it. Don't stop with the scary faces. Let's just, you know, there's no point even to prepare yourself. So let's just take it, like, let's just talk. And like, see, we like elves are reincarnated with more power than you humans, and we've all gathered around in this royal resonance. So you can feel it, right? That the powerful magic and all that around here, other than just our groups, even if you try and escape, like outside, it's no use because you'll all be killed. So relax, give up. I mean, I'm pretty good. I'm amazing. But the others, whoo, you don't want to think about them. I'm like, who the fuck is this clown right now? I'm like, this smirking ass piece of shit. And like, Mimosa clearly is going to be like, we're not allowing that. We're not going to give up. And it's like, well, that's fine and dandy and all, but, you know, don't you think that if we were just straight up to the king and all that, we'd win? I mean, you've got some crazy people right there heading to your king's place, and it's like, and, well, they're all, you know, quite persistent and pig-headed, and there's no way that your king's going to be escaped. And he's like, by the way, if he uses that magic to kill someone, he ain't going to survive. Sorry to say that. And it's like, oh, so Langris, as we see, like, the king's guard is struggling against this man, whereas, like, he is using his own version of special magic and he's counteracting it, and it's like, what the hell is happening right now? As we see, you know, Langris's mother is in there, the king, like, the meeting that was happening like a couple of chapters ago and all that, and he's like, oh, and he's like, so the spirit of rebellion has turned into a troublemaker after all, and it's just like, that's the king, eh? He looks like a piece of shit. Interesting enough, the king pulls out his own grimoire, which I found was fucking hilarious, and it's like, well, let me show you my wondrous magic, and he's like, light magic at his absolute monarch, a saintly brilliance, which is, clearly it does not work, but I think it's supposed to be like some intimidation magic, where it's like, I am using this to kind of take down it, and he's like, you like my divine magic mind, now bow down before my authority. It's clearly supposed to be like a dominant kind of spell, if anything, and Langris just swipe. Oh, that was done. He's like, and then he's like, my magic, and he's like, that is a pathetic display of light right now. And this is where, interesting enough, like out of everyone out there, and it's like we see who was supposed to be, you know, like Finral's girlfriend and everything and all that. It's just like which is Finesse, I believe her name was, or Finesse, like I think it's Finesse, like her name, like the sickly girl that was supposed to be for Finral, and then ended up, I think she's currently engaged to Langris or something, or is about to be because of the whole family shit. Which then ends up as like she tries to stop this and all that. Your loved one, like she's like saying, please stop, your loved ones are gonna be sad. You need to come back, and it's just like, you know, shut your goddamn mouth. And Finral comes in at the right time, of course, picking up the girl and everything, being really nice, like, oh man, real flirt. And he's like, oh, by the way, you're right, miss? No, why are you here? It's like, he's just talking about that, and it's like, look, like, everything is like, you see Yami and Jack, like, why the hell are you trying to act cool right now, you piece of shit? And it's just like, you know, the castle's light spread to everyone except you guys and all that, and it's like, we could have done this a bit smoother and all that, and it's like, and you see that as like, it is 2 captains against Langris right now, and it's like, he teleports both of them, no hesitation. Jack, Yami, swiping in them, like, there we go, this is what I want to see. I want to see these 2 guys on there. And especially with, like, now they're saying, like, oh, we need to be careful with Langris's ability, because Yami and Jack barely avoided his powers, like, the first time, as, like, you see, like, a chunk of Jack's, like, blade gets taken off, like, Yami barely, like, scraping his nose, and his cigarette just, like, blast out, and it's just, like, right now, like, my magic is just, anyone that comes near me and all that is just going to be destroyed by, like, this, like, it's, like, the balls that he had around him last time for his power has seemingly grown. The best way to compare it is that he's now basically become Gaara from Naruto, whereas, like, they come near him, this is the perfect defense that he has right now, and it's like, oh, Langris has become a very strong like character right now, and the reaction to everyone is Finral is shitting himself, and Jack and Yami are like, oh, this is gonna be good. They're like rubbing their hands, and like, let's rumble, let's have some fun. I'm like, you motherfuckers, you goddamn motherfuckers. And this is why I love them. This is why I love Yami, because he's like, I just want round 2. So for people that were like, you're getting a bunch of multiple Yami fights recently, like in like all in like the same time as well, which I find interesting. So it's like, oh hey, it's almost like, you know, Yami is a very popular character. Totally, they didn't make a game just mingling about him. So it's like, yeah, you're going to be seeing a lot more of him in the future. This is clearly, like, again, as it feels like it's being very, not shoehorned, but it's very made apparent that it's like, he is being filled in as, like, you didn't get to see a lot of him very early on in Black Clover, and then when the elite fight happened, that's when he got very popular, and it was like, he is I believe, the most popular character next to, I think Asta won the last popularity poll, so, and he was flat second and nearly beat Aster out. So yeah, you're going to be seeing a lot more of Yami, because guess what? He's the favorite character of the show, and for good reason. He's the most likable fucking character in the show. That if that isn't Magna from like the Black Bulls, I'm specifically talking about. But overall, this was a decent chapter setting up the Langris fight. The fact that it's going to be taking 2 captains to take him on right now, and with Finral's ability, and it's like, who knows? Maybe Finral might be able to awaken something new, since a lot of people have been waking their powers. Very curious about the Mimosa side, though. I was surprised when I was like, we've been talking to the past few weeks, where it's like, where is Mimosa going to be going exactly? And then we see that her opponent is someone that's obviously very lackadaisical, and they're taking the most passive route from it. So let's see what's going to be happening on their side too. I think this is definitely a very decent chapter, and good thing as well, we're getting a color page next week, so I'm excited to see that, because we hadn't had one for a while for Black Clover, so this is going to be very exciting. But that's all from me. Thanks as always for watching, and I'll see you guys though next time.